What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? I'm live. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas, and I wonder if my live stream has even started yet. Looks like I have, and welcome to our feature presentation. Guys, I was doing something a little bit different today just to see how it might all go over, and I thought you might find it kind of interesting. I put together a bit of a presentation for you. So I can see the live chat, so we will go through the live chat, and I will probably not be as over-the-top animated because I want to go over a few very important things here, and we can take a look at Las Vegas and where it all happens and how the city could go bankrupt and how it can save itself. And this might be interesting for you, or this might be the least interesting thing you see all week. But if you love Sin City, I'm asking you guys to take a look. Look, here's the deal. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty from all different walks of life and all different levels, and nobody knows what's going on. The casinos don't know what the government's going to do. The government doesn't know what the casinos want to do. Oscar Love, thank you so much. Mr. Classic TV 1980, thank you. And I will interrupt to give the shout outs to those nice folks doing those nice things. But the truth is that nobody knows what's happening, and you guys don't know, and I don't know, and I have people telling me things, and one of my sources told me something that sounded scary. They said the casinos, some of them, might be on the verge of talking about being afraid of going bankrupt. What happens if the casinos go bankrupt? So this presentation, it's my first shot at this, so, don't have PowerPoint, use the Google Slides, and we'll see how it goes. This presentation aims for us to take a look at where the money comes from in Nevada. Could the city go bankrupt? Will the city go bankrupt? Will the casinos go bankrupt? And what we possibly can do to stave all of this off. I hope this is informative for you. I do have a white cat outside my room screaming and yelling. And because we love our cats, I gotta go open this door. Come on in, Munchkin. All right, so with that, let's talk about where the money comes from in Las Vegas. Now, where does the money in Las Vegas actually come from? You don't yell. Where does it actually come from? It's a good question because the city and the state, what's the economy like in Las Vegas? Well, I did some research for you, and it turns out that 28.9% of all of the money that goes to operate the economy of Nevada, it comes from sales taxes. These are sales taxes from everything from high-end things that you buy at the Rolex store to the pack of gum that you buy just walking into the Smiths or the Albertsons or the Kroger. Thank you so much. Fun and discussion, entertainment, guys. 304 thank yous. We also have 18.2% of this coming from gaming revenue. Now, this is probably a misconception for many of you. You might not understand this, but we get most of our revenue from sales taxes. As a matter of fact, last year they put up the sales tax by fractions of a penny on every single dollar spent, and everybody lost their minds because apparently if you had to spend an extra $30 on a $30,000 thing, that's oppressive taxation. But it's our biggest revenue source. Gaming comes in second, of course, and the state takes their money from the gaming revenues. We then have non-financial businesses. So this is any business that doesn't have to do with finances. These are people that manufacture or make goods. This is the 14.4% of all of the businesses that would love to reopen right now if the governor could just give us the okay. This is the businesses that are hurting the most right now. Thank you so much, Texan Jack Potter Slots. I do see my super chats, although I'm not going to be able to answer all of them. We will talk later and do a question and answer after this. 9.6% come from insurance premiums, car insurance, house insurance, personal property insurance, any kind of an insurance you can imagine. This is where those revenues come from. 4.5% come from commerce taxes. Anybody doing business in the state of Nevada is going to pay some kind of taxes on the commerce they're doing. 4.1% cigarette tax, which really kind of shocked me, but I guess it makes sense. What do you do in casinos? Smoke and gamble. So, yeah, 4.1% on cigarette tax. And mind you, the price of a pack of cigarettes in a casino is $10 to $15. So they have higher revenues from cigarette taxes, although I'm all sure all sales are the same. And you won't see alcohol on here. This is not factored in, which is strange. And 19.4% from other, this is stuff like entertainment, live entertainment taxes. When you buy a ticket to the Cirque show, there's your entertainment tax. That's not just something that they're charging you at the hotel because they want to. Live entertainment taxes are collected by our state government. Financial, so if you do any kind of financial trading business, anything that involves finance, then of course we also have mining. The Silver State isn't called the Silver State for nothing. We have some of the biggest mining in Nevada, in the West. And also property taxes on people owning things and owning property. But tourism, we have to get to the idea of tourism in Las Vegas and why it's so incredibly important, right? Now, I looked up the stats for you guys based on the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. They have stats going back to 1970. So I put these into three different groups. I put it into vintage Vegas, family-friendly Vegas, and the modern Vegas, and I highlighted the peak for everything. In 1970, Vegas brought in 6,787,650 visitors to the city. That's not that bad considering the 1970s. What did you have to do? You could drink and gamble and go to one of those topless girly shows that made it classy in Las Vegas. 1995, this was a new era of Las Vegas. People were traveling more. In the 90s, we were in the middle of a great economy with the dot-com boom just on the horizon. It was a different age. We had 29,002,122 visitors to Vegas during the family-friendly boom, and that is saying a lot because that was when people were bringing families of 4 and 5 to Las Vegas, which we've minimized. Which we have to talk about next is the modern day Las Vegas, the ones that you know, the ones that I talk about, the ones I report on. Well, that was 42,936,100 visitors in 2016. Now, that is the most in a single year coming into Las Vegas. Okay, so yeah, 2019 was a little bit lower. It's like 42,500,000. I just looked for the biggest numbers we could find, and they highlight them conveniently. These stats are available from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, and you can find them at any time just by typing in Las Vegas stats. It's the first Google search result you find. Now, conventions are a huge part of the Las Vegas economy, correct? I mean, everybody knows Vegas means business. There's a website that says Vegas means business. Convention business is dominating. They're spending $1 billion with a B. Sound like Dr. Evil, $1 billion on expanding the convention center, and that's still going on. It's an essential project for the city. Since 1970, when they started tracking, it's actually exploded even more exponentially than the travel and tourism business. I mean, that went up, what, eightfold from 6 million to 45 million, something like that. This went from, you'll see right now, 1970, 2 million, 2 million. See, boom, mind blown. I'm thinking in the millions. 269,129 convention visitors in the 70s. Now, something important to note about all this stuff, right? There used to be different shows. You had the CES show. Now, we have that in Las Vegas. They used to have a summer CES. That was in Chicago. Then you had a winter CES in Las Vegas. Vegas has been systematically targeting different conventions for the last 20 years. Their job is to build something like the World Market Center to try to steal furniture business from North Carolina, or to go and make the big bowling alleys at the South Point, if you're the South Point, to steal the bowling tournaments away from Reno. It's a seek and destroy, very cutthroat business conventions are. We have 95, the family-friendly version of Vegas, with 2,924,879 convention visitors. And then we have modern-day Vegas, okay? Oops, my slide is wrong. I didn't fix the middle stat. Just pretend it still says this back here. 6,649,100 convention visitors. Now, that is a huge chunk of the 42 million people that come here every single year. That's the most in a single year. Unfortunately, everything we're talking about right now in terms of travel, not very easy to do in the coronavirus kind of thing that we're dealing with, okay? Now, what does a COVID-19 mean to Las Vegas and travel tourism? I can't even start to tell you. I mean, I know what it means to me. If I was still working in timeshare, I would be in a world of hurt. I know people that's all they know. They've been doing it for 30 years, and they're not able to sell other things, so they're in trouble. But what does it mean to, like, you, the person who's watching this, thinking of traveling, thinking of going somewhere? Well, the answers are found in two different places, okay? two different locations. I tried to search my brain and rack my brain for all this, and I thought, what are we going to look at as examples? Because we do have Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I'm not throwing shade on Atlantic City. I've heard that it's going through a renaissance of sorts, and that the boardwalk is beautiful in the summer, but in the winter it's kind of not the place you want to be. And you have little native gaming and Indian gaming, if I don't know the proper term to not offend people nowadays, and you have those all over the country, but they're really not Las Vegas. There's only one place that I can think of that's really like Las Vegas, a place dedicated to one thing with other things supporting it. The first is Macau, China. Macau. I don't know how you say it, but you say it and it's China. That's the only other region dedicated to gaming on a Las Vegas scale. That's the only other region with resorts on a Las Vegas scale. Yeah, okay, you have Dubai. I'm sure they have some gaming there, but Dubai is not the same. Dubai is owned by a kingdom. It's like they just throw money at problems. They got so much money, they don't care about coronavirus. They're just going to pay people to come there to make it look like it's a big deal. That they probably will do that. UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship did that to make it look like people were at the actual live events who were watching on TV. They paid for those empty seats. Well, travel, tourism, and gaming has reopened in Macau, China. Okay, they reopened around March, third week of March. The Chinese Central, the Chinese Communist Party, that's CCP. Call me racist, but that's what they're called. Okay, they're a central government. They said the economic zones can reopen. So what's important to note right here before I take a look at the stats with you is that China operates economic zones. You have Shenzhen, that's where the Foxconn is. So any little device you have is probably made there. Your video game consoles, your iPhones, your tablets, the manufacturing of TVs, that's their economic zone for manufacturing. Macau, China is a special economic zone dedicated to gaming and casino gaming and entertainment. And so those zones, at least the entertainment one in Macau, is reopened. Hong Kong is a different beast altogether. I mean, there's a big history there. We won't go into it to make this not be 2 hours long or something. But Hong Kong is another economic zone, very friendly to Westerners, and, well, maybe not so much these days with all the protests. But what happened in Macau? Well, the first thing that happened was the gaming revenues went down by 80%. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? If they were making $1 million a day, now they're making 80% less, $200,000 a day. That sucks. That's terrible. The second thing that happened is visitation returned at only 20%, which is inversely proportional to the first point, with gaming revenues being down by 80%. I mean, I guess if tourism returned to 100%, gaming revenues would be not down or be down by less because, China went through a big problem with manufacturing. But let's be honest here. The average Joe in China is not traveling to Macau or Hong Kong. They're not going to Hong Kong to shop the Louis Vuitton store. They're not probably going to the Macau region to stay at the penthouse at the Wynn or, the Las Vegas Sands or the Sands. Major casinos right now in Macau, China are losing $1.5 million to $4 million per day just to stay in business. Just consider that for a minute, right? I mean, here collectively in Las Vegas, and we said on the live streams before, the casinos here collectively are losing $16 million a day. There's not even that many casino gaming companies in Macau, China, and they're losing that much per property. That's crazy, right? So there's a difference, though. See, and the reason I'm pointing out these losses in Macau is because if the casinos are losing that money and they're not generating the tax dollars, how do we go back to 18 point some odd % of our economy here being funded by all of these different gambling revenues? It's a problem, right? Now, you guys, it's important to remember this, okay? I'm going to quote somebody who's been very polarizing lately. You loved her one week, you hated her the next week. Remember, Anderson, Las Vegas is not China. And Anderson did that thing. I mean, this is a guy that's been to literal war zones, and he was so stressed out that he went like this. Oh, Mayor, we just got our social media moment, everybody. Oh, I'm Anderson, and I'm so... Cut me some slack. Give me a break. Fake media. He did a good job interviewing her, but that was some theatrics right there. The second thing is the Nevada Gaming Control Board. This is the second factor as to what's going to happen when Vegas reopens. Now, this is the body that governs casino policy in a COVID-19 world that we live in. This is what they do. Now, the Nevada Gaming Control Board has outlined a few things for Nevada gaming. Okay, it's pretty easy. They've outlined a few things. They're going to limit all of our casinos to a 50% capacity. Now, you might be thinking, but if China only returned to 20% capacity, no sweat, right? We'll get to that in just a moment, okay? They want proper sanitization standards across all different metrics. And I went over this in a video. Was it the video this morning? I'm losing track of time and tracking of the videos. They want to have, if a guest sits down at a table and starts touching things, everything gets resanitized. The guest sanitizes. If a dealer changes over and you have a new dealer, everything gets sanitized. You know, they want to have people dedicated to doing these things, you know, social distancing at the machines. And it's a good idea. They have some good sanitization standards and some good social distancing standards. They want to restrict on clubs and shows and pools. I think pools, I can't say for sure. So before you say I told you the pools are closed, I didn't say the pools are closed. And also phased reopenings, okay? So phased reopenings for nightclubs, day clubs, this kind of stuff. And do it on a way that's going to be like comprehensive. And I like how the Nevada Gaming Control Board has some semblance of having a plan. Whereas on the other side, we have the governor of Nevada who says there's several phases. We might be in phase 1. We're not in phase 1. We're in phase 10. We have 40 phases. I don't know how many phases. But remember, Las Vegas is not China. Say it with me, kids. Las Vegas is not China. Oh, Mayor Goodman, I'm so stressed. Sorry, I watch that and I go, I know what you're doing there. You're making your social media moments. God bless y'all. You need all the viewership you can get, according to what I read. So we have to look at Macau, China versus Vegas. I can never figure out if it's Macau or Macau. I think it's Macau. The key differences in Macau, China, and Las Vegas. Now, obviously, I mean, look, I think there was a James Bond movie that did some filming in Macau, China. They've had those casinos there forever, but demographics-wise, China, this was the wrong slide. I used a template. Busted. Demographics-wise, China has a large international travel base going to Macau, China, okay? These people are coming in from Singapore, Taiwan, Philippines, Japan, all over Southeast Asia, places in Russia. How many people are traveling internationally right now? That's the question, okay? Not a lot of people are traveling internationally right now. Whereas in the United States of America, we have, you know, a domestic base of 300, probably 50 million people after the current census that they just did this year is in. So we have a very large installed base. Heck, we have California right next door with 40 million people. Okay, you add in Arizona with probably 5 or 6 million. I don't know the stats. West Texas, you have a huge install base that just kind of just snaps up entertainment, especially when they're stuck at home and it's safe to travel. So you also have transparency in government. This is important, okay? Now, listen, I don't think you're going to meet anybody on either side of the political aisle that would say that they want to be part of the Chinese Communist Party's government system. They do crazy things there, like social credit scoring, where if you walk against a traffic light, you can lose points, or if you get caught stealing at a store, eventually they take away your ability to travel on an airplane or get a loan at a bank. It's crazy, right? Massive surveillance state. We have a lot more transparency. I mean, our governor goes on TV and makes a complete ass out of, and everybody just blasts him on social media, and you don't see one by one to that extent people like me losing YouTube channels. You know, they have one social network in China. It's called Weibo. Well, they have others like a version of Twitter and stuff. And if you do something wrong, they monitor your words. They just delete you. You don't even exist anymore. We don't have that here. So we have transparency. We have people able to spread rumors. We have people able to convey information on a massive grand scale. So I think that's going to help aid people to feel comfortable coming back to Las Vegas if they only do some stuff we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Whoa. Fuck. I don't know if I'm live, but I can't even see it. Oh my goodness. Wow. Huh. What the heck? I don't know if I'm live right now, everybody. Okay, looks like I might be live. I'm looking at myself on the camera. I think we can continue on. I think I'm here. I did swear. Oopsie. Lag. I don't know. Looks like my entire internet connection on my computer. I can't reach it. Let's see if I'm here. I'm seeing if I'm live, everybody. I don't know if I'm live right now, everybody. Okay, here we go. Okay, looks like I might be. Good. I apologize for that. I can see you guys on my phone. YouTube Studio on my computer decided to die on me, and I'm back. I don't know. Okay. All right, so I don't know where I was, and I did curse, and I'm sorry that I cursed, but I looked down and it said unable to connect to chat, and I went, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of this, it died. Okay. China has, okay, so yeah, so going back to where we were, I'm not sure if it even died at all, but yeah, we don't have the same problems with transparency and everything else that they do there. So basically, saving Las Vegas from bankruptcy requires several key landmark goals as far as I'm concerned, okay? So let's go over this right now. Goal number 1, it's very simple. A clean and sanitary Las Vegas experience for all the guests and all of the employees. The companies owe it to their employees to make a really good experience happen, as much as they actually owe it to the guests as well. Because those employees right now that are being furloughed, they're keeping everything going, or they're not keeping everything going. If they're in the maintenance department, they're in the back. Man, I'm a little frazzled right now. Thank you guys for watching and for liking and all that. I can't see my chat, so I don't know what's going on in the chat because my computer died on the browser side. So, clean and sanitary Las Vegas experience for guests and employees. They owe it to the employees. They owe it to the guests. They need to get a new set of standard operating procedures. We'll get to how they should do that in just a moment. But they really need to make sure that everybody is going into the casino knowing that the casino is doing their very, very best for people to make it a good experience for everybody. Okay? But the second thing, we don't want to see this. Does anybody want to see this anymore? I don't want to see this anymore. Now, I know it's their First Amendment and all that kind of stuff, and they have every right to do it, blah, blah, blah. But this is disgusting. Nobody wants to see the bad rooms. But the second thing is going to be cooperation between gaming corporations for SOPs. That's a standard operating practice, standards of practice, standard operating procedure, either way you want to say it. So this means that when the Wynn has a plan, and the Venetian has a plan, and the Caesars has a plan, and Phil Ruffin has no plan, I'm going to have hand sanitizer. Thanks, Phil. Good work. This means that they're going to have to, in my opinion, they should have a cohesive plan. You should know that every single casino is using the exact same type of standards for when you go in the casino. You should have the same types of standards for when you're going through the everything should be the same in the casinos. You should know that Casino A, Casino Company B, and C are all the same, working hard for you guys, okay? Nobody wants this. Who's on first? So I hear you got a baseball team. Most of you guys are way too young for this one. But, you know, who's on first? I don't know. No, this is an old Laurel and Hardy bit. It's where the two people are basically saying the same thing, but nobody really understands what the other one is saying. And nobody wants to see the casinos having different standards. You come prepared to go to one place, but you can't go to the other place. Or you do some things in one casino, but you can't do them the same in the other because you break their rules somehow. That's no way to be, trust me. Next goal, an innovative marketing campaign in order to show people that the real Las Vegas is like in a post-COVID-19 world. Because I really, truly don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it might be. But everybody's setting it up to be some horrible kind of Death Star experience where there's stormtroopers everywhere forcing you to get your temperatures probed and wear face masks. I mean, look, going back to the last point here, when we have cooperation between people, because right now, one casino might require a face mask, the other doesn't. So if you don't bring a face mask, you got to get a face mask kit and alcohol sanitizer from the next one. It's ridiculous. So they need to have people that are able to convey the message of what it really is going to be like in Vegas in this post-COVID type of world. It might not be a bad thing. You never know, right? Look, you have all these different social media networks. I don't even think Vine is around anymore. Some of these I don't know, but Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Messenger, all this stuff. And my live stream is dying on me, and I don't like that. All these different companies, all these different ways to convey messages. Use the social media that you have in front of you. Make it good. Goal number 4. Complete trust that the casinos will provide a non-invasive guest experience. This is really important, okay? People don't want to feel like you're hustling them to not social distance. They don't come to Vegas for that. People don't want to feel terrible when they come to Las Vegas. They want to have fun. They don't want this guy right here greeting them when they show up to a hotel to ask them where they've been and who their contacts are so they can contact. All right, looks like I'm back. My internet died on me, and I hate CenturyLink, my internet provider, and I apologize for this. I had some people watching this that I wanted to see this, and I completely screwed the whole thing up. My point was this, okay? Disney is not running anything. There's no Disney parks. There's no Princess Cruise Lines. There's essentially nothing right now. And Vegas is all there really is. You're the heart and soul of the whole city. I love how people called me Sisalak. And when it comes right down to it, we need you guys to keep us away from going bankrupt. I know it sounds asinine and it sounds completely absurd, but we really do. You're the ones that we're going to rely on most. The people that come here, the people that puts the trust in this city, the people that have a love affair with Sin City. We're going to be relying on you guys to come back to Las Vegas and not be some kind of petri dish like our mayor so erroneously said, but to come to Las Vegas and have a good time and show the world that, you know what, it's a terrible thing we're going through, but you can still have some fun wherever you go. And that's what I wanted to say to you guys today in a presentation. And I'm sorry that my presentation ended up being so bad. I feel very unprofessional and completely guilty about all that. But with that being said, I will get my chat going again here, and I will open it up to some questions. And we do an hour and a half on these things, so I guess we're going to be talking for a little while. If you guys want to ask me a question that doesn't relate to how come you screwed up your whole entire live stream, that was embarrassing. I had some people watching tonight, and I almost just put my live stream down. I am so flustered right now. I'm a human being. Holy cow. And that was very embarrassing. Anyways, yeah. So that's my live stream presentation. Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. Bye, Jesse. Yep, it was like watching Steve Sisolak's presentation, except for Steve Sisolak has the entire budget of the great state of Nevada behind him. So Jesse's gone. Anybody else want to have a wise guy comment? I actually put a lot of effort into that presentation, and I'll make sure that I do it again. Thank you, Evan's mom. That is very generous of you guys. I didn't see who I should thank. Whoa, Brianna. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Relief Fund. Brianna is here. Oh my gosh. Yep. Yeah, Jane, it probably did that too. Look at that. I just promoted other YouTubers, which is good. I think it was Yellow Productions that I promoted. But I got myself running on my phone's Wi-Fi connection, which is a lot more reliable apparently than that you-know-what show that I was using just now. How embarrassing was that? Well, to all those people watching that I wanted to impress, I guess I didn't dress to impress tonight, although I did try my best. So that's what I want to say. I want to say that it really is up to you guys. It's up to you guys to do great things for us. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you guys are the heart and soul of this entire city. And without you guys, what would we do? We wouldn't have anywhere to go. We wouldn't have anything to say. We wouldn't have anything to do. And so it's interesting to see what that's all about, you know? And, yep, not very proud of my internet connection dying on me. I've been having problems with it since the whole entire coronavirus thing. It is what it is. Whoa, Richard Ratner, thank you so much. So I'll stop apologizing. That must be the Canadian in me. And I will get some cucumber water that my wife did. Now, I could pour it into this cup right here. I found out that I could buy like 100 of these or something. No, I don't know how many of these I could buy. It cost me like $100 minimum if I want to put my logo on it. They're made in America, by the way, too. I did not know that. But I'm going to have some water, and I'm going to just lick my wounds for my garbage presentation. That was crap. I'm going to have to redo it. I'll have to redo the presentation without all that trash in between. And hopefully, yeah, now it's working. Now it's working. Guys, thank Richard. Hey, listen, everybody who's been cool. I didn't even know what was happening because I couldn't see half the chat. Thank you to Oscar Love, Mr. Classic TV 1980, Fun and Discussion Entertainment, Texan Jack Potter Slots. I have a feeling he plays slots on his channel. I might want to check him out. Poker Junkie, Evan's mom, Brianna Drag Queen Slots, Richard Ratner, and Elizabeth Chamberlain. You guys have been great. Oh, and Elizabeth Chamberlain just popped in. Your presentation was very well done, and I could tell you put a lot of work and effort into it. I tried my best. Tried my best without having PowerPoint on my computer. PowerPoint. That's a pop culture reference. I might call it out if you see it. Thank Elizabeth, guys. Thank everybody for watching. Look, I killed my live stream. Now there's 300 people on the live stream. It would have been a lot more if I didn't screw up. MM says, Steven for POTUS. Oh, that's not going to happen. But thank you, MM. That's very kind of you. Coconut water, drinking out of a take-up cup, made for soup. Can't go wrong. Thank him 299 times, everybody. Reno is buffering. You might want to check your stream because my stream health is now good. I fixed it, so refresh your page. Wall Street Warlord liked it. I'm sorry about that, my friend. I tried my best. And the video is gone. Reno just has to refresh her video because everybody can see what's going on now. PowerPoint is a tool for engineering and marketing professions. It is. It's also something that I have on the work computer, but, you know, whatever. Alfonso says he's obsessed with Allegiant Stadium. You and many others, my friend. I know a lot of people like that. And there it is. What's the deal, Tony? I have CenturyLink. They are absolutely terrible. I mean, seriously, you can't get anything. Yes, this person here is now gone. Boom! So yeah, so have a margarita, support Vegas, smoke more blank. No thanks, Jonathan. I support my brain because I don't like the way that stuff makes me feel. It's up to you if you do. Matt S., who's been texting me on the Patreon, telling me it's going out of control. It's great. Well, that's awesome, Matt. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. You demand, Steven. Keep Vegas real. I try my best. And yeah, so here we are. We're talking Vegas for the next hour or so. We get an hour and 30 minutes on these live streams. And I think what it boils down to is somebody today said something to the effect of, somebody said that they're actually legitimately concerned about these casino companies because they're now talking about Vegas going bankrupt. Wall Street Warlord says, Steven, greetings and salutations from the beautiful Bulgari Hotel in London. Europe loves leaving Las Vegas. I do have some viewers from the UK, but I know that my time difference is pretty rough on them. So it's, 4 in the morning there. So that's pretty darn early. Brian Mendoza with $4.99. Thank you, Brian. That is very polite of you. That is very nice of you. And that is very cool of you. And I really appreciate it. Guys, thank him 345 consecutive times. Idaho Casinos, here I come, Paul says. So you're going to go to Idaho. The thing is, they're going to have the exact same kinds of things as Las Vegas. So you can go to Idaho. I'm sure they've opened up. And you can eat some potatoes. And you can go to the brewery, because I think there's a Budweiser brewery there. Or you can just wait and come into Vegas and do it on a grander scale. What can I tell you? Okerlund, attaboy, I don't puff the hippie lettuce either. Boy, I'd never heard it called hippie lettuce before, but that is pretty funny. Richard Ratner says it's 4:21 in the morning and he's staying up to watch me. That is pretty cool. Steven looks slick today. Hit the like button if you think he's looking sharp. Yes, well, I had some VIPs watching me. I can't tell you who. But, yeah, it was what it was. Oh, my gosh, Margarita Gonzalez. Thank you for being you and for keeping us updated on our favorite place. I appreciate it, guys. That is awesome. We'll call Vegas OFP our favorite place. I remember The Simpsons used to have a web forum and bulletin board called OFF. It was for our favorite family. So we're going to call Vegas OFP. Guys, 374 thank yous to Margarita Gonzalez. Very, very kind of you. So what about the pools? What about the pools? I don't know, Crispy. They might be back. They might not be back. I don't know. Oh, and it strikes me as interesting that on my last live stream, I had a couple of people say, how come you never, ever answer me in the chat? Well, I get a lot of chats, and if I don't answer you, don't take it personally. I can't see all the chats. I promise you that it's nothing against you. It's not on purpose. Hopefully you will post your opening monologue so I can understand what you said. It completely broke up on my end. John, I will post that tomorrow. I'll do that as a whole presentation, I guess. Why not? I mean, it's like I gotta post something. Christopher, the shows will reopen eventually. MGM has canceled all their shows throughout to July 1st. Steven, maybe more people would see that info as in a regular video. Anyway, thanks. Yes, Chris, I appreciate it. That might be a good idea. I mean, I do have the slideshow presentation just ready to go. Jim says, me. Well, I always see what the moderators say. They got blue wrenches next to them. And today is Cinco de Mayo, and it's the Zero de Mayo, Nada de Mayo. Que nada, my friends. Que paso? Que paso nada. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah, this is the first Cinco de Mayo that Vegas hasn't served alcohol in possibly forever. Isn't that interesting? Why are casinos charging full price for rooms, Johnny O asks. Depends on the travel website, because I've seen some pretty slick killer deals from some websites. So you might want to check out, maybe just go to Google Flights, or I don't know if Google will have some deals, and they always show you the stuff, because I've seen some good deals. Today is Taco Tuesday. That is the perfect universe, isn't it? How many days does Cinco de Mayo fall on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday? I never get the flu shot, and I've never had the flu, Johnny says. That's very interesting. So, yeah, Lord Lonnie says, CenturyLink is terrible, a.k.a. Quest, known for a long LED slamming in the 90s. They currently operate under level 3, and their voice over IP is garbage. They also have lag and poor connection. I can't get past 5 megabits per second on my end of things, and then oftentimes my connection upload just dies like it did in the middle of that presentation. So now I'm on my Wi-Fi hotspot through Verizon Wireless. Isn't that funny, huh? If there's a Cinco de Mayo, why is there no Cinco de Miracle Whip? Ha! Because, you know, life gets zip with Miracle Whip or something like that. It's not Mexican Independence Day, Alfonso. We went over that yesterday in the chat. I said Mexican Independence Day, as I believe, no, is it the 15th of September? I probably have the day wrong, but it's in September as well. Are kids being discouraged from coming into the casinos, adults only? No, Andrew. Well, I mean, yes, they've always been discouraged. You can't take your kids in a casino and have them stop. They have to kind of move around like a shark in the middle of the casino floor. But kids shouldn't be in casinos anyways. I mean, yeah, cucumber water, that is correct. I got the cucumbers right here. And I still have some floating in the water. My wife makes me cucumber water. Elizabeth points out it's September 16th. Good call, Elizabeth. How are views going up? Because the longer you stay on a live stream, Doku, the longer people know you exist. And then they type in Vegas. Maybe they see my live stream. Who knows? Whatever. And then you'll eventually get more people as long as you're on point and you're talking about Las Vegas. And even if the casinos, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Vegas. Do you guys want to see me do my whole presentation again? No, I'll do a regular video tomorrow. Kids should be wandering the strip altogether. They have a curfew on the strip. I believe it's 10 p.m., but that's just so you can't be out without like adults outside wandering around. Peter says I look cool tonight. Yeah, I did my hair up and I got my camera a little bit closer to me. I can do the neat little depth of field. You guys can see my horrible skin. My gray hair is on the screens. But that's cool. I'm getting a new camera lens that somebody is sending to me, which is very nice of them, so I can do better video for you guys. You hit the off button, Steven. No, I didn't hit the off button. I'm still here, my friends. Thank you guys so much. Yes, okay, so Vegas should be an adults-only place, but will it go bankrupt? Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's keep on topic of Las Vegas. This is about the bankruptcy of Vegas, the selling out of Las Vegas, the crippling of Las Vegas. No, it's not. Come on, man. Sound like that's a Joe Biden line. He'd be like, "Come on, man, China ain't nothing." Oh boy, I don't know about that nowadays, because Yeah. There, anyways, I'm not going off on a tangent there, but yeah, he would say, I would say that if Vegas ever had any major financial problems, that somebody would come in and buy the casinos. They would buy the stuff. They would buy the resorts. The fact that there are ready made buildings that just basically print money all the time under regular economic conditions are fine. And is it too big to fail in Las Vegas? I don't know. I mean, I would see that it could be that the state gives preferential treatment to the gaming sector to keep it going through this time. That could be a possibility. But, I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors that Chinese gaming companies want to actually come to buy stuff in Las Vegas. I have heard that, and it is scary. It is a scary idea. I don't want to go into a casino that's owned by a foreign government that's known to put spyware in their phones. Huawei phones have spyware with them in them. You can't buy those phones in the United States. You also can't buy their equipment if you're a government agency, and I believe it's New Zealand and a couple of other countries. So, do we want to go into casinos that are owned by a country that's known to spy on people? That sounds really, really bad. That sounds bad, you know? And it sounds like we could have a big problem here, but I would love to see if there was actual proof that, Vegas was going to go bankrupt. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think we should keep foreign governments away from this sector as much as we can, because this is something that Vegas is as American as it gets. And I'm not some xenophobe that says foreign companies shouldn't own things here. God knows I would love to have a Tim Hortons to eat at. Oh heck! Are you kidding me? I love Max's Chicken. It's a Filipino chicken place. But there's certain things where we deal with finances that we have to be really, really careful on. And the selling of data is something that sucks. And MGM had a big privacy breach where like entire social security numbers and cell phone numbers and addresses were exposed. Just that happening is a big, huge red flag. And we have to be very careful about who has access to the data of the guests and the customers. And, there's a lot of stuff I could go into, but it's not a political channel. But every day, every government is doing something against each other. The United States is probably doing something against China, and China is doing something against Britain, and Britain's doing something against Russia. So we have to watch for that stuff because your data matters a whole lot. Trust me on this. The Mandarin Oriental failed because of incompetence, or the Mandarin Oriental was a leased building. I mean, I don't know that it failed. The Mandarin Oriental was leased. So the company that put their name on it was Mandarin, but they didn't own the building. Right now it's the Waldorf Astoria, but they don't own the building. They go into leasing agreements with these gaming companies. So they go over to MGM. MGM says, hey, do you want to put your name on a building in Las Vegas? And Waldorf says, sure, how much? They write the check, they change the theme inside a little bit, they put the logo on the side of the building, and now you have the Waldorf. So I don't know if it's that the Mandarin Oriental failed as much as they just didn't think that it was going to be a competitive brand here. And that's really the rub too, because there are certain gaming companies that have a lot of sway with Chinese gamers and people from the Southeast Asia. Genting is hoping big that they can come in and open up the resorts world and have a really great time with it and get some of that market. Whether or not that'll happen, time will see. It'll be very, very interesting to see. Will Fontainebleau open? Well, Alan, TMC, it's now known as the Drew, and I don't know that it will open. The Drew is on hold, apparently. They're not doing a lot of stuff right now. So let's see. Chinese investors are sneaky, Douglas says. Yeah, that's probably true. But most people are sneaky. When they invest money, they kind of keep their hand close to where they have. To their chest. I could see one of the big casino companies go bankrupt, but not the whole city, Matt says, and that's exactly it. Look, there are companies like Amazon. Amazon just told their investors a few days ago, and I think Jeff Bezos' exact quote was something to the effect of, if you're an investor, you might want to sit down for this one. He told them that they would be cycling all $4 billion that they had from their earnings call or whatever it was right back into Amazon, to the employees, to COVID, to keeping people safe and clean at work. All of it. Sunk it right back in there. But Amazon's a great example. I'm learning about Amazon. I'm doing this like little podcast series. It's a great example of a company that was willing to lose money in order to make money, in order to take a hold in a marketplace. Now, during the Christmas season where Pokemon was huge, Amazon was trying to break into the toys market because their major rival was Walmart. And so they went to ToysRUs.com and they would buy 5,000 Pokemon toys if they could find them and have them shipped to a warehouse in northern Nevada. Seriously, that really happened. And they knew they were going to lose money on every single one of these Pokemon toys because they were paying full retail cost plus the price of shipping. And then they were turning around and selling them at less money than they paid for them because they needed to compete directly with Walmart. Jeff Bezos didn't care because his opinion, and he hired people. They don't have any pachinko games, Crispy. That's interesting that you asked that. Yeah, guys, pachinko is a much bigger industry than gaming in Las Vegas is. The pachinko industry in Japan is ridiculous. It's like a kind of a weird pinball type game where you got a bunch of pins and balls fall down and it's a game of chance. But yeah, so Amazon was willing to lose money. They lost money year after year after year for their world domination. So thank Crispy Dill Pickle, guys, 487 times. So you got to think about a casino company that might come into Las Vegas, might buy something, and then sit on it and lose money over time in order to watch the market get better. And they might watch the market get better, and then when the market gets better, they might have a bunch of equity built up in a property that they didn't pay very much money for, or they might have a massive guest list of people that they've collected over the years by offering them even loss-leading things. Because it's not all about, okay, so for example, right, the Marriott Vacation Club purchased about 5 different major timeshare companies 2 years ago. They purchased like Sheraton, Westin, Hyatt, all these different resorts. And you think, oh, they just wanted the property. They didn't care about the property. What they really cared about was they really wanted to get the access to data for timeshare owners so they could go sell more timeshare to those timeshare owners. They were buying the data. And that's a big part of it too. When you buy data, you buy information, you have access to the information, you have access to all the power. That's why there's these sites that you can go, and I've never done it before because they cost a lot of money. Like there's a site where I can go and I can get all this information for when I do my videos and what keywords I should say and how I can be competitive with other people. I don't have $50 a month to throw away on that, but sometimes, yeah, it might make a difference to get all the knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? So it's interesting to see, I guess. That's my point. It's interesting to see what would happen. The whole city is not going to go bankrupt. It's not going to take 3 years to recover. Maybe fully 3 years to recover, but it's not going to be that bad. And that's one thing too. Now, again, I apologize profusely for my presentation going down the drain. All I could see was a giant slideshow in front of me on a 32-inch monitor, and my camera's in front of that. It is what it was. I heard the Tangiers puts an equal amount of blueberries in their muffins. Ha! That's a reference to a movie I saw once with George Clooney in it. Any market crash is time to buy for long-term investment, Lord Lonnie says, and he's completely right. In the 2008 economic crash, one of the biggest winners of that crash was Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway and a couple of other big investors came into the Las Vegas market. They bought up properties faster than people could buy the properties. They were basically like, if you guys know what high frequency trading is, I don't know a lot about it, but that's where the machines and the computer algorithms that trade stocks do it faster than a human being can. Well, these companies were buying properties that were on the foreclosure market so quickly that if they went on the market at around 3 o'clock on a Friday, they were already sold by 3:01. An offer was put in automatically, and because it was Berkshire Hathaway worth billions of dollars, they knew the money was there, so they would just sell, and you didn't even have a shot at them. Yeah, so much for fixer-uppers. Thunderdome Vegas, 2 casinos enter, 1 casino leaves. Wonder if they'll start booking odds on which casino survive or fold. Would that be irony? Yes, well, I mean, I understand how it is right now. I mean, MGM was sitting on a bunch of cash, but they're going to run out of money, and Caesars is probably the most vulnerable company out of all of them right now. You know, it's probably the one that is going to be broken up first. And who has the deepest pockets in Las Vegas right now? One man, Sheldon Adelson. Now, obviously, Phil Ruffin wants to buy more stuff too, but, you know, whether or not the Eldorado deal with Caesars goes through, that's going to be a whole other thing altogether. There's a reason for that. I switched live streams on my Sony PS9. Revolution looks better on my Dell laptop. PS9? You have the new PlayStation, Paul. The ugly old fat man says, seeing all the people here that say they want to come and the people on the news that just want to get out, I gotta believe the casinos and hotel will fill up sooner than later. And that's exactly it. So you gotta remember, like, I have all this idea in my head, right? Like I get all of this information. I have access to a video I'll do that I'll have 300 comments on it. I get to see what everybody says. And it's interesting to see what everybody says. Things will get much worse in Vegas before they'll get better. I don't know how they get much worse than this, McLovin, the Irish R&B singer. I know you hear all the time, and I don't expect everybody to be a Pollyanna and be so super happy. But you got to look at it this way. How could it get worse? I mean, everything's closed. At least if they're open. I guess it comes down to, would you like one slice of pizza, or are you going to turn down one slice, or you're going to hold out for the whole pizza? Wall Street Warlord says Sheldon is the king of the kingdom. He is an awfully astute businessman, and when it comes to old school casinos owners, I guess he is basically all there is left in terms of those old school casino owners, other than Phil Ruffin, who doesn't seem like a happy feller, does he? Ron G asks, where is the Waldorf? The Waldorf Astoria sits on the property at City Center. It's the funky-looking property that has the break of windows in the side of the building. Really, the numbers are in our favor. There are so many rich people. It's the mass number of average Joes that make a huge difference to the bottom line of Vegas. The average Joe pays a lot. This is true. Let's see here. Chipless tables may become the norm at Red Rock. It could be interesting, Jeff, but there's something about the chips that people like, and I think it's also a thing where it's like it's let me think here if I can say it. It's a mindset thing where you have chips and you're going all in, and gamers use those, poker players use those to their advantage when they're trying to play. Some people use it. There's a whole side of that. I mean, maybe chipless in the future, but you know, people have been telling me that I should buy Bitcoin for years, and then I know a guy that had a bunch of Bitcoin and lost all of his Bitcoin, and now he's trying to make it all back. We're going to need an airline industry to get people back to Vegas from abroad, especially from Canada. Sorry about that. I mean, we have lots of. And by the way, Bondin, I'm Canadian, so I'm not throwing shade at Canada or anything. But man, y'all got some crazy, crazy restrictions until the end of the year. Honestly, it's the end of the year. I mean, we're talking 6, 7 more months, so that's a lot. And yeah, so we have lots of airlines that'll fly people here from every part of this country, and that's what I was saying too in the presentation that was all broken up and messed up. Really, because we have 300 million people in this country, and not all of them are broke. I mean, I see it, people going to Best Buy and doing curbside pickup for $3,000 televisions and PlayStations. So not everybody's broke, you know? I mean, maybe they're irresponsibly spending their stimulus money or something like that. But yeah, there are lots of airlines, no necessarily Levi demands. Allegiant Airlines have really cheap rates right now. Yep, this is true. Let's see. I wouldn't mind. Have you heard anything on how airports will manage inbound flights? Really don't know, Evan's mom. Somebody in my moderators on Facebook, one of them had to take a flight, and he said it was like 3 hours just to go through the airport. Stephen, great Vegas documentary you produced should win an award filled with feeling and emotion. Wall Street Warlords referring to my Las Vegas documentary is called Closed for Business, Open for Hope. Yeah, well, I mean, there was so many little things in there from me. I watch it, and I'm like a perfectionist. So I actually just downloaded a bunch of footage I did of the Hard Rock that I found on my GoPro account. So I might go through that Hard Rock footage and try to do like a remember when without me in it. I don't have to be blah, blah, blahing all the time, but it's all done on my nice 60 frame per second 4K GoPro, and I could do that. Victor Kral, I remember LV Sales P selling condos for 4,020,000. Okay, I don't know, Victor, if you could rephrase that as a question or an answer. You remember condos for 28,000? Yeah, that was a long time ago. You could buy condos at rock bottom prices right after 2008. I think is what he is actually referring to. And in 2008, you could get a condo for 20 grand. That same condo is now worth $180,000. It just went ridiculously over there. But thank Victor, guys. Thank him 530 times. Look at this. This guy sucks on his live stream, screws it all up, and still has 530 people in the chat. That's crazy. You guys are nuts. Y'all got nothing better to do. When it all opens up, I won't see any one of you ever again. I know that much. Turnberry Place. Did you know what the, do you guys know what the HOA fees are at Turnberry Place? You don't even want to know. The HOAs at Turnberry go up to like $7,000-$8,000 a month. Yeah, that's your homeowners association fee at some of these places. It's crazy, ridiculous, right? Who's paying that? It's done. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's nuts. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be sending out my first face masks on, I believe, Thursday. And that'll be good. And that'll be great. And those are going out to a place in California. And then there's another guy here that ordered some. And then another address I still have to get. So that'll be fun. $700 for one bedroom. Yes, Fremont, Bruce. So these are owners. They pay HOAs of thousands of dollars a month just to be at Turnberry. And many of them are not in their unit all the time. Turnberry Place, Christina asks, is right up on the north end of the strip across from these. It's behind the Sahara, kind of by the Westgate Las Vegas, which used to be the Hilton. International flights incoming and banned until next year. I don't know, Gregory. That's going to be like a Trump administration thing about whether he lets people in. Kevin D says the hair is looking sharp. Yeah, the wife did my hair with scissors that a subscriber sent me, and that was awesome. Europe is staying up late and getting up early to watch it. Just you and the people you raised hell to watch, I guess. And then I messed it all up. Man, I screwed up my presentation. I was so proud of what I did. My old boss's HOA fee was $10,000 a month. So Alfonso is pointing out that his boss paid $120,000 US every year before he paid the mortgage. Wowza. Your boss had... What was your boss? Was your boss Mark Davis by chance? Crispy Dill Pickle says, so things opening slowly in June, that's when I go. Yeah, probably, Crispy. Wow, 532 thank yous to Crispy. I would imagine so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm supposed to go back to the office pretty soon, but I don't know about that. Then we get Roland Simon, who says, Las Vegas is finished. I hate that place. I'll never go there. Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. You can do that, and then I can do this, and you don't have to worry about commenting on me again, because we don't need people in here telling everybody they're bad for coming to Vegas. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Steven's live group poll when Vegas opens. I don't know about that. I don't know who the Stefan fellow is. I'm just kidding, Sam. People spell it wrong all the time. Steven, everyone here says you are awesome. Thank you, wherever here is. Crispy, I'm going in June too. It's cold out in Nunavut. Oh my gosh. So let's just honor King Carl. So there's the Inuit people in northern Canada. Okay. And that's what you would call Eskimos before we understood that they were called Inuits. And one day, they wanted their own part of Canada. So the Canadian government came along and said, then you can have none of it. Get it? It's a really Canadian joke. It's called Nunavut. Black Cane, how do you like the hair, Mr. Cane? You like it? Yeah, she was super happy. So there you go, guys. I need 537 thank yous to Black Cane. And I just decided in the last little while. Oh, Ray Ritten says, love me some Vegas. Justin Trudeau won't let me go for a bit. Just know Canadians are welcome. You know what you could do, Ray? Because Canadians have a nice, warm, open travel visa welcome like people from the UK do as well. What you could do is you could just come here and live here for 6 months. And as long as you go back home, is it 6 months? I believe it's 6 months. Or is it 3? I'd have to look it up. But then you go back home one day and you just come back. And you could be like, hey, man, I know you won't let me back in Canada until the end of the year, but I'm just going to the States. See ya. Smell you later. Anyways, let's see what we got here. Whoa, Herbert, thank you so much. Herbert, you are generous. You're only bad if you're watching Steven. I heard. I don't know what that means. You're only bad if you're watching Steven. I heard. Not sure what that means. I am completely confused, but thank him 533 times, everybody. So, have any of you guys ever been to England? Because one person in the chat, a Wall Street Warlord, is in London right now. London, England. You know, we also have, as a Vegas thing, kind of sort of related to Laughlin. I mean, if you go down to Laughlin, Nevada, and then you go down further to Bullhead City, you can see the London Bridge, but it's not the real London Bridge, but it is the London Bridge. You know, London Bridge was falling down. That's a children's nursery rhyme. I'm not on Skip. Apparently, they wanted to sell it, the United Kingdom, and they sold it to a guy who wanted to put it in Bullhead City, or not Bullhead. Oh my gosh, not Bullhead City. The London Bridge is way down there, and gosh, you guys can remind me in the chat. I just drew a blank on that. Herbert, thank you so much. I don't get it, and I'm a regular. I'm like the most regular here, and I don't get the joke. So, Herbert, send me a message on Facebook and explain that one to me. Anyways, it's way down there, and they moved it there, and it was a rich investor that wanted to move the London Bridge down there. So if you ever go down there, you can see it. There's a Union Jack and an American flag on it. Havasu, boom, Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu has a cool little artificial bay put into it, and there's some nice restaurants down there. And you can take a jet boat. Look at how many people answered Havasu. Holy crap, I can't believe I forgot that one. And then I found out what happened. See, what happened was apparently the guy thought he was buying the Tower Bridge. And there's no way they're selling the Tower Bridge, right? Because that's a much bigger landmark. So he bought it, and that's what it is, you know. Oh, the London Bridge move, yes. Yeah, I like it down there. It's a nice place. I like Lake Havasu City. We went down there and we took a jet boat from Laughlin, and it goes 55 miles an hour shooting down the Colorado River. And then there's a tour guide, and then they cut the engine out, and you can see all of the petroglyphs that are on the walls from the Native Americans that lived here back in the day. They still live here, but they don't draw on the walls anymore, obviously. Maybe they do. Some of them do. I'm sure they do artwork. But the old 1,000-year-old ones and the artwork that's there is pretty cool. And then we found out it was basically a booze cruise. And my wife and I were the youngest people on the jet boat. And then you had all these old people that were like just having a blast because they were getting drunk. They all had flasks. And this one lady had an entire bottle of wine in her jacket. She's like, they're all drinking when the tour guide's doing the tour. And everybody's just getting drunk. And I'm like, wow, geez, Louise, that is hilarious. Oh, Gregory Namasek, thank you so much, Gregory. And Albert Alvarado, thank you all for all your work. Steve, you're very hard to keep us in Vegas open. I'm going to do the best I possibly can. You guys are awesome. And I do these every day at 7:45 my time. And if I'm going to change that because I do want to film some stuff at the Allegiant Stadium, I will let you guys know all about that. I got 27 minutes left. Stephen, why is the province of Quebec only want to speak French? Even if the people there understand English, they reply in French. Hugh. Liu. Man, I don't know why you're asking me Canadian questions on a podcast here, but hold on. Wall Street Warlord says London Bridge was sold to American oil tycoon Robert P. McCullough for a cool $2,460,000. The landmark was subsequently dismantled and shipped. Yes, that's true. Well, Hugh, to answer your question, the first explorers, well, the first European explorers, well, that's probably not true because there were like Vikings there first, but it was the Jacques Cartier. He was a French explorer, and you had John Cabot, not Cook, John Cabot as well. But the French were the first explorers in Canada, and they settled in Quebec, which at the time was called Lower Canada. Crispy Dill Pickle, love your channel. We hope to see you around Vegas when we go. We live in 5 hours away from the bridge in Michigan and 5 hours away from Sault Ste. Marie. We're the home of the Greyhounds. It's an OHL hockey team. Thank you so much, Crispy. 512 thank yous. But to get to the bottom of it, Quebec has their own nation, and within a nation, they have their own pension plan, their own healthcare system. They have everything, and it's very independent. And there's a whole history there that a guy named J.J. McCullough, really great. You should go check him out. He's really good. And he will tell you all about that stuff because he does a much better job than me. That's for sure. I forgot to put my stuff. There it is. Boom. Click. It's in there. So yeah, it's kind of like Texas, but not really like Texas, but kind of like Texas in a way. Now, there is a bit of an elitism sometimes amongst people, but there's also a bit of elitism amongst people that are from Texas or New York or whatever. Every country has their divisions amongst their people. French people in Canada are extremely proud. In Quebec, you'll always be spoken to and responded to en français. They're seen as rude outside the province, in a way. Oh man, I really like thinking of going homestead off grid. Yeah, the Noid has got an idea. Lots of homesteaders nowadays. Everybody going to want to be self sufficient. Quebec is the reason every company has to have French translation on labels, Jen says. All right, guys. So, would you go to a Canadian or any other themed casino in Vegas if it opened? That would be interesting. I don't think that I would. I would ever want to set foot in a Canadian themed casino because I don't know what the difference would be from an American one, and I would just go to the Bellagio. Hugh Liu asks if I can speak French. On peut. And that means no. It means a little bit, and very, very little. Now, I don't know if I'd ever think a Canadian casino would work in Las Vegas. What kind of themed casinos do you think that it would? La Grande Bretagne. So I got to, wow. The one person here that's going to speak French to me is probably Wall Street Warlord. If you do work on Wall Street, my friend, and you are in finance, then I do trust that you probably speak several languages. You're likely a polyglot. What's a good chat on Facebook, Southern Highlands? So Stephanie, I actually posted a reply to you. So the average house in Southern Highlands is $400,000. It's not millionaires like somebody said. Signature or Grandview, maybe Signature is tower for the rest. Well, Grandview is a timeshare and Signature is a residential tower that you can own. Great Britain salutes Stephen. La Grande Bretagne salut Stephen. So what you guys should also know, because we were talking about Canada for a minute, is that French Canadians speak much different French than people from Paris, France. Just in the same way that people from Mexico speak different Spanish than, say, Castilian Spanish from Spain. It's just different. They have a different accent. They do different. I would like to say that people in Canada, I don't know, this is a Vegas podcast and live stream, but I'm not talking about Vegas. I guess I failed today. Failed the first part, failed the last part. It's a sandwich of failure with a little bit of good Vegas in between. But I would like to say, like, the people in French, in Paris and in France, they have a very flowing French, but in Canada, they have a very, like, sledgehammer way of saying things. You can't tell a different. No, Eminem is incorrect. You can completely tell a Canadian until they say anything. I mean, like, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely, MM. I can tell a Canadian within 3 words that they say to me, but that's because I have an ear for it. But I think I get an ear for languages and an ear for accents. Like, I'm pretty good at picking out an Australian from a New Zealander. I got Scotland and England. Those are so radically different. You can't really. There's no difference unless somebody's from Northern England, close to Scotland. Then it can be a little bit difficult. But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. Remember the 2004-2005 reality show The Club aired on Spike TV about Standalone, now defunct nightclub on Ice on Harmon. Yeah, so Ice has been sitting there forever. At one point, it was zoned to become a W hotel, and that never happened. And then the W ended up taking up a licensing right over at the Sahara, which was the SLS. Crispy asks, how is the Grand Desert? That's where I'm staying. You're staying at the Grand Desert, the Wyndham Grand Desert. Wyndham's Grand Desert is very nice property. Wyndham doesn't really do bad properties at all. If you can get well, no, I wouldn't say it, but the newer version of that is actually the Desert Blue. But the Desert Blue is by the Rios, kind of, well, it's further off the strip. So you're at the Grand Desert. You're about probably 15 minutes from the strip. Steve Miller, thank you. And also thank you, Crispy Dill Pickle, 480 times. My goodness, you guys are great. Thank you guys so much. Oh, a water park and casino in Vegas. That would be interesting. You're from Wisconsin Dells, where they got water parks. Linda is from up in that neck of the woods. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Stephen, interesting question. How do you think Vegas entertainers and celebrities will react to an audience whose faces are covered with masks? Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because in a way, I don't get to see anybody's face, and I have to do this. I don't have to do this, but I choose to do this. So entertainers are... I've been on a stage once. I mean, I've never been entertained before, but I was on a stage once, and you could look out, and when the lights are on and they're shining on you this way, you can only see a few rows, and then it's difficult to see behind you. So I'd say a lot of entertainers that are super professional, they probably don't have any issues with not seeing the faces, because they can probably read off body language Guys, I could tell you this. Go read a book on body language. Go learn to read body language because there's so much, man. Like, it's so much stuff that I've learned. Like, for example, right? So let's say, wow, I sound totally Canadian all of a sudden. For example, right? So like, let's say you're talking to a person and they're sitting there and their arms are crossed and they're like this, and then they kind of glance down. You can see them glancing down. Those are just little body language cues. The way people, when they talk to you, if they touch their face when they're talking to you, there's like that yeah, touching their face, doing certain cues. Body language is a big key. So I think the more professional entertainers aren't going to have a problem with that. But, I think, yeah, it might be bad for some. I don't know. I guess it's just going to have to elevate. Elevate yourself. Get better. My boss that I work with at the magazine right now, he said it doesn't, it said it only gets harder. You have to get better. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Yeah, it only gets harder. It doesn't get easier. You're getting better at it. And that's what that is, okay? It doesn't get easier, you get better. It's kind of like if you went to play tennis with a tennis master and or you played tennis against somebody who was terrible. You could be pretty okay at tennis, but you're playing against nobody that's any good, and you feel like you're dominating the person, but then you never do anything but play that same person over and over again, and then boom, here comes, I don't know, Monica Seles, was she a tennis player? Pete Sampras. Here comes, what's his name? Baldy. Oh my gosh, I forgot all my pop culture references. The Vegas guy, but it doesn't matter. Here they come, and all of a sudden you're the worst tennis player in the world because you didn't get any better. Just got to get better in life. When I was in the grocery store the other day, I suddenly realized that we can't see anyone and smile anymore. This is true. Andre Agassi, thank you, boom. Andre, married to Brooke at a point, couldn't win a Grand Slam tournament to save his life, hired Tony Robbins to come and help him out. How are table games going to be played now? Craig, we went over that on my video today. There will be 4 people maximum on poker, which had everybody super mad. That's bogus. You can't have a poker room with 4 people on a table. Well, you have choice. You don't have to play poker, or you can play with 4 on the table. Which one do you choose? Too bad my 2 heroes, Don Rickles and George Carlin, are no longer with us. They would love seeing the masks in the audience. Yeah, could you imagine George or Don? They would be on it. Boom, boom, boom. Steven, Vegas would not be the same without really hot discos. I went to Studio 54 once. That was stupid, man. I'm not a nightclub guy. I am the most awkward person in the world when it comes to that stuff. Somebody said I had Asperger's once. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. But Wall Street Warlord is correct. I'm only laughing because of the way you phrased it. Really hot discos. It reminds me of Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd going, wild and crazy guys. Are you going to do a daily show when you go to the magazine job? Victor, I've been doing that job. I mean, I've been doing this every day. I try to keep the daily shows up if people like them, but do you know how difficult it gets to talk about this stuff? Like, I spent most of my afternoon today listening to different discussions on coronavirus and on different things, and came to some scary conclusions that I can't share here because you guys will tell me I'm crazy. But, yeah, and it was, oh my gosh. And then I can talk about that stuff, but nobody wants to hear that stuff. You got to stay on the topic of Vegas, but there's only so many topics of Vegas. So what do? You turn to the Wikipedia and you find out that, did you know the original Fremont Street Experience was supposed to have a hanging, dangling parade that would go down the Fremont Street Experience with live actors on it? But it turned out that that didn't make it structurally sound and they could kill all of the different people that were hanging from it. You probably didn't know that. Yeah. So that is what that was. So I read about that stuff. So I try to read about stuff that's Vegas, I worked with Don Rickles on his last TV show, James says. That is very cool. Yeah, George Carlin is very funny. I liked it because when I was moving, I happened to listen to his thing. Bruce says he doesn't think I'm crazy. And he was talking about stuff. And he's like, the only reason you have a house is because you need stuff. You have stuff, and then you get more stuff, and then you got to get a bigger house to put your stuff in there. And I thought to myself, I'm like, holy cow, Jerry Seinfeld totally copied this guy. And I'm like, whoa. Funalicious 1000, can I share them on Patreon? Oh, they're not, the thing is that I have political thoughts in my head, but I don't discuss them with anybody outside of my close friends because I don't need to alienate people. And Jerry Seinfeld said, your whole thing is about getting a box. I need a box. I got to move. Hey, when I'm dead, look at that box. So it's very similar to George Carlin's thing about getting a house and getting a place to put your stuff. Wada. I hope the LV Valley diversifies its economy after this. We all said the same thing in 2008, didn't we, my friend? Oh, Paul. How you doing, Paul? Who are the contenders for the next mayor of Vegas? Well, there's Carolyn Goodman. And then there's another challenger. Let me see if I can find it. Carolyn Goodman, challenger. I would love to see them just go and just duel with sabers. Las Vegas Mayor Carolyn Goodman gets 2 challengers. So here's who's challenging Carolyn Goodman. We hope you appreciate our content. Subscribe today. I really hate the Review Journal. This is stupid. So I guess she doesn't even have any challengers. Well, I don't know. This thing says she does have challengers. That's a year ago. Carolyn Goodman wins her 3rd and final term, so we are correct on that. So there's mayoral candidates in Las Vegas, so I guess that's what it is. So she doesn't have any challengers, but there are some mayoral candidates. I know that much. Thank you for the correction on term limits, guys. This is a good point. So she ran. So Las Vegas mayoral candidates. I can't talk. All right, let's see who's up for this. Oh, we're gonna elect Steve-O. So, wow, every single mayor that we had running against Carolyn was a nonpartisan party. That's very interesting. Let's see what we got. We got nobody that I can see right now. Mesquite Casinos won't open anytime soon. So yeah, so there's nothing really here that I can see. Yep, looks like maybe there's a candidate here. Masario Gonzalez. So there's a guy named Masario Gonzalez, and he is running for mayor. That was updated on February 21st of this year. I think we need to hire, I don't know who we have for mayor. Who would be a good mayor of Las Vegas? I don't know what to tell you guys. I got to moderate for a minute. Let's see what Paul Kim said. How many goddamn Paul's on Steve's channel? Yeah, guys, we don't have to moderate Paul Kim. He's okay. He's one of my regulars. Please don't moderate Paul Kim unless he goes crazy. Any idea on how many gallons of water is in Lake Mead? That's a lot of water, Okerlund. I can research that for you because your Google is broken. My YouTube was broken earlier. How much water is in Lake Mead? We're going to do the Google machines now. Thank you, Okerlund. You are awesome, by the way. Looks like they have 26,134,000 acres per foot. I don't know what that is, so we're going to have to look it up. How much gallons of water? 9.1 trillion gallons. 9.1 trillion gallons. And it's 30% full, to give you an idea about all of that. So that's not very full, by the way. Thank you, Okerlund. So I answered your question. I don't know if that was one of those questions that shouldn't be answered. There's some certain questions that you shouldn't be answered. If you ever want to be interested in finding out, go look at the questions that Google asks you when you go work for it. When you go to try to get a job with them, they have some very interesting questions that are very hard to answer, so you can demonstrate your learning ability or your ability to solve problems and stuff like that. And Goiter is right. Gautier is right. They're mostly for California. Rick Harrison for mayor. So we got some mayoral candidates coming up. Paul E.D., the DJ for mayor. We could have Mayor Steve Aoki, who'll come out there and he'll be like, free stringy beard hair product for all. That'll be good. Mayor Rick Harrison. Well, he does love Las Vegas, but and you know what's good about Rick Harrison? If he was going to be the mayoral candidate, he'd be like this. He'd be like, I'm not sure about that. Let me go ask a guy. And then he would just ask a guy, I guess. Derek Stevens. Yeah, we could have Derek Stevens. Chumley for president. Well, they're all populist candidates, guys, and that seems to be the way the world is going right now. Things look bad now with all the restrictions. In a year or two, be back to how it was. I agree with you guys. Vegas Mayor Stephen J. Campbell. I don't know who that guy is. Sounds like a terrible idea. Thank you, Vegas Mooch. Mike Tyson for mayor. I got you. Maybe we could have the mayor be somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Oscar Love, we're going to thank everybody. Thank you, Oscar Love. Thank you, Mr. Classic TV 1980. Thank you, Fun and Discussion Entertainment. Texan Jack Potter Slots. Poker Junkie. Evan's Mom. Brianna Drag Queen Slots. Richard Ratner. It sounds like an old TV host from the 1960s. Elizabeth Chamberlain, MM804, Matt S, Brian Mendoza, Okerlund, Margarita Gonzalez, Crispy Dill Pickle, Victor Krall, Crispy Dill Pickle, Black Cane, Herbert Daughtry, Albert Alvarado, Gregory Nemisek, Crispy Dill Pickle, Steve Miller, Victor Krall, Paul Carl Lukacs, Okerlund, and Vegas Mooch. And sometimes I think people just want me to say silly things like Crispy Dill Pickle over and over again, which is pretty funny. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, yo. I appreciate you guys being on board with me tonight and sitting with my terrible did the governor clip this channel? I see that's a thing, Paul. I know your heart's in the right place when you say it. Yeah, I had some serious problems with my live stream today. It was bad. When will Fremont Street open back up? When the Strip does. I think that's a pretty good idea. Steve Wynn for mayor? I don't know about that. He's got a lot of baggage. Okerlund, Kurt Loder from MTV. What? Are you serious? Kurt Loder turned 75? And also, what's that guy's name that used to own the Miami Dolphins and Blockbuster? He passed away at age 90. Am I up for ping pong, Matt? I'm always ping ponging. I can't do much rap. I'm not very good at it unless I listen to somebody else's lyrics. I have a friend, my realtor friend, who claims he can do Eminem's song Rap God at full speed. And I said, no, you can't. Nobody can. Great show as always, Steven. Thank you, Wall Street. I appreciate it, guys. And we got Don. Yeah, it was Dan Shula. Don Shula. Why do I always say Dan? I can't believe that Kurt Loder is 75 years old. Wayne Huizenga. Don Shula. Holly Madison for mayor. Goiter, she is not that fun without her makeup, and that's not misogyny talking. Go look at her before she had her plastic surgery. She looks like a different human being. It's just fascinating. Maybe she's pretty now, but she's definitely came from a whole girls next door type thing. Is the mayor available for stand-up comedy gigs? What's the deal with Las Vegas? Everybody miss Robin Williams. Cheech Marin for mayor. Yeah, that's right. Any news on poker? It's a card game played with several players and only 4 per table in Las Vegas when it opens. See what I did there? Badum-ching. I don't know what's more sad, Shula dying or me being a fun fan. A fun fan? Are you talking about being a Dolphins fan? Nice hair day. Thank you, Jim. Carrot Top for mayor. Scott Thompson for mayor. Tillman Ferretta for mayor. We could have Phil Ruffin be the mayor. He'll make sure nobody gets paid. Joe Pesci for mayor. One of Oscar Goodman's children. Yeah, so she has a son who's a lawyer, and then she also has a daughter who I don't think she's a lawyer. You said Steve Wynn has baggage. How about Oscar Goodman's baggage? Ha ha ha. Well, the only thing about his baggage is that she never shuts up and stains his legacy. Badum-ching. Steven, what if Vegas casinos turned into health and wellness resorts? Wall Street Warlord asks. That's an interesting question. There is a resort on Convention Center Drive, across the street from where the Convention Center expansion is happening. They are purporting themselves to be a health and wellness destination with zero casino gaming. So the demand in a pre-COVID world exists, at least for these ideas, for different things to exist that don't involve gaming. But right now, I think there would be way too much at stake to not having a gaming revenue stream, especially with tourism supposedly going to be down. Who knows? We don't have any kind of a crystal ball, do we? Oh, man. If Alex Keaton is here. Alex Keaton, my favorite fictional TV 80s yuppie kid. Gotta love him, man. That guy wanted the money. All right, guys. I have got 5 minutes left. Just general random stuff. I hope that my first presentation wasn't completely unwatchable. What I will do is I'll redo the presentation and just record it and upload it to YouTube so you guys can watch it. Trump's kids can mayor for Vegas. Vegas really does need a personality, I think. To me, if it was a mayoral ship, I think Vegas needs a personality. I mean, we have some of the best TV commercials. You could have that guy, Tobin guy. You could have the Tobin guy be your, what's his name? I can't remember. But the guy from the Tobin Dodge commercials. I mean, we have to have big personalities for mayor in Las Vegas, right? Because we represent Vegas. It's bigger than and better than and everything like that. I don't know. I think I would alienate too many people if I did a presentation on CV, Bruce, because half the people seem to think that it's a one thing and the other half think it's another thing altogether. We'll tell you one thing. It's there's more to it. Just look it all up. Guys, look it up. But YouTube rips the videos down. That's a problem. We could have Gordon Ramsay be the mayor. He would be screaming and yelling at everybody. That would be... Oh, the My Pillow guy could be, yeah. All right, I'm Mike Modell. I'm running for mayor. And if everybody elects me, everybody in Vegas will get a really good night's sleep. Welcome when you lay on my geezer sheets at the Luxor. Well, that would make more sense to have him at the Luxor, wouldn't it? Really? Jerry Tark for mayor? I'm thinking Tarkanian. It must be his kid. Man, Carol Baskin for mayor. No thanks. Steven, the next shtick and gimmick. Quick check, 5-minute health checkup boost on the Las Vegas Strip. Patent it. Do it. Roll out the franchise. I'll be your pitch man for that. I'm just kidding. I'm not the pitch man for anybody. I don't think Counts is open, Steven. They could stay open technically because they're an auto body shop, but I really doubt they would ever do that. Wouldn't make sense for them. $15,000, chop it. I live off Spring Mountain, so I can't vote for the Las Vegas mayor. That's right, James. Most of us can't. Everyone, please hit the like button on your way out. Thank you, guys. Is Arnold here? Arnold is here. Bobcat Goldthwait. That would be awesome. But you could do Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's fantastic. I'm the mayor of Las Vegas. Oh, yes. Thank you. Arnold. Watch out. We got to watch out. There's no graffiti artists on the Fremont Street. I can't do it. Oh, I suck. Look out. There it is. How hot is it in Vegas? It was 89 degrees today. Somewhere in Nevada, there must be someone who could make a great mayor simply because they know what they are doing. The Shadow knows. Blackjack is not here right now. Yeah, Mr. Chow, Leslie Chow. That would be great. Pee Wee Herman for mayor. I know you are, but what am I? That would be a great debate. Be like, well, Pee Wee, you exposed yourself in a theater. I know you are, but what am I? Yeah. I'm not doing rap, Albert. Maybe on the Patreon. I suck. Okay, guys. I'll be back to Vegas. You guys are great. Jerry Tarkanian is dead. He passed away. But you can drive down Jerry Tarkanian Way in the central part of the Las Vegas Valley. All right, guys, we got to go in about a minute straight. I don't do any impressions except for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's pretty bad. Vote for me, free pizzas. I wish the Noid could send me some Domino's coupons. We like Domino's, actually, but we are more fans of Papa John's. But Domino's is close and cheap. What can I tell you? Steve O said something. He said that Mr. Chow, toodaloo, mother blankers. That's pretty funny. Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks for being here on the stream, everybody. You guys are great. I apologize for my technical things. It wasn't any fault of my own. It is what it is. Keep on keeping on, everybody. Just watched your video today. Did they mention anything about pools or that? No. Pools are pools, Captain. They have not mentioned. Get to the chopper. Hurry up. Come on. I was governor. Hold on. California. Oh, yes. It's fantastic. Got to get the pump. Okay, I gotta go. Yeah, it's just stupid already. Okay, guys, you're great. I'll see you tomorrow. 3, 2, 1, and click.